Access your free language gifts right now before they expire. This month, you're getting 20 PDF ebooks and workbooks for language learning. There are ebooks on the most common adjectives, nouns, and verbs, slang words and phrases, plus workbooks teaching you greetings, how to talk about time, and much more. You'll see all of our 20 ebooks and workbooks on the inside. To get your gifts and language learning resources, click the link in the description below. Download them right now before they expire. Hi everybody, my name is Alicia. In this lesson, I'm going to talk about expressions you can use in arguments. In this case, by argument, I mean a fight with words. I don't mean like a nice verbal discussion, a nice regular discussion. I mean an actual fight. So these are some expressions that you can use when you argue with other people. Let's get started. Okay. The first expression is we need to talk. We need to talk. This is a very well-known expression, and for most people, this is a scary phrase to hear. It means someone has a problem and they want to talk to you about it. We need to talk. So this is most commonly used in romantic relationships, but you may also hear it in work situations or with friends, anyone that you have a fairly close relationship with. If there's a problem and you need to be a part of the conversation, you may hear this. We need to talk. This is a common way to begin a serious discussion or maybe an argument. We need to talk. So usually the response is okay, if you agree, or not now, which usually is not a good thing to say. But this is quite a serious expression. We need to talk. Okay, so let's talk about some common patterns in arguments. The first one is, I can't believe you, past tense verb, and past tense verb phrase here. So I can't believe you did something. So this expression refers to a past action, a past thing that the listener did. So something bad happened in the past. The speaker is expressing shock or surprise. So here are a few examples of how we might use this expression. I can't believe you forgot my birthday. And I can't believe you ate my lunch. So here we're using past tense verb phrases. You forgot my birthday or you ate my lunch. So the speaker is upset. The speaker is angry about these past activities. We use past tense verb phrases. You'll also notice in these cases, for this lesson, for these examples, I'm focusing on I and you, as in the speaker has a problem with the listener. But in some cases, you may want to express surprise or shock or feeling upset at someone else. You can change this you to like he or she or they. Like, I can't believe he forgot my birthday, or I can't believe she forgot my birthday. So you can change this part right here to talk about someone else. I can't believe he ate my lunch. So this is an easy way to change the person you're angry with in this case. So I can't believe something. This can't believe refers to shock or surprise. Okay, let's go to the next one. The next one is actually a question. So you're asking this question to get some information about the past. The pattern is, why didn't you, infinitive verb, an infinitive verb phrase. Why didn't you? So that means this verb did not happen. Why didn't you? So what is the reason you did not do this thing? Some examples. Some examples of this are, why didn't you call me? Or why didn't you finish that report? So that means the listener, you didn't call me. I want to know why. What's the reason? Maybe I had an expectation you would call me, or I thought you would call me, you didn't. So why didn't you call me? You might also hear people use something that sounds like this. I've just added an exclamation point here after this question mark. This is an informal way that we write like surprised questions or shocked questions. We use a question mark and an exclamation point to do it. You can reverse the order too. That part does not matter. But you may hear this And you may see this in writing in informal situations, like on the internet too. So this didn't happen. Why didn't you finish that report? I thought you were going to finish the report. Why didn't you finish the report? So you're asking for some reason that something did not happen. So you might hear something like this at work. You might hear something like this in many situations. Why didn't you call me? So this could be because the speaker is angry or upset. It could be because the speaker is worried too. Like, you needed help? Why didn't you call me? So you can use it in that way too. But this pattern is used to ask for a reason for something in the past. So in this case, something that did not happen. Of course, you could make it positive, like, why did you something, something, something? Like, why did you do that? You can use that too. If you're looking for a reason for something that did happen, you can make it positive. Why did you something, something? Okay, so let's go to the next pair of expressions then. These are kind of follow-up expressions that you can use after you explain the problem. So to go back to this example, I can't believe you forgot my birthday. So maybe we feel sad in that case. We might follow this sentence with this expression. You really hurt my feelings. You really hurt my feelings. So I've drawn this sad face here. So to hurt someone's feelings means to cause them to feel sad. So feelings, plural here, feelings refers to someone's emotions. And to hurt someone's emotions or to hurt someone's feelings means like to damage their emotions in some way. So we use this when we cause someone to feel sad, or like when we have been caused to feel sad or disappointed. Usually we don't use this for angry feelings. We use this for like depressed, sad, like lonely feelings. So someone hurts your feelings, that refers to someone else's behavior causing emotional damage to you. It causes you to be sad. So in this case, I can't believe you forgot my birthday. You really hurt my feelings. So I've used really here. You can remove it. You hurt my feelings. That's okay. But you really hurt my feelings shows that someone really made an impact on you in a negative way. The next expression is a little bit different. The emotion that's expressed here. That made me so mad. That made me so mad. So the idea here is anger. This is a key with this expression. That made me so mad. So made means caused. That caused me to be so mad. So mad means angry. So this might be used in response to something like this example. I can't believe you ate my lunch. That made me so mad. So you feel angry because your coworker or someone else ate your lunch. That made me so mad. So again, we're using past tense here and past tense here as well, hurt and made. So you can use present tense, like, that makes me so mad, if this action is happening now. Like, I can't believe you're eating my lunch. In present, like present progressive, I can't believe you're eating my lunch. That makes me so mad. That's fine to use too. These are in past tense, but either is fine. You can use either depending on what's happening in the situation now. Okay, let's go to the next pattern. The next pattern is I past tense verb phrase plus because of you. So this past tense verb phrase will be some negative result, some negative outcome, and then we use because of you. This is an expression that we often use to put blame on someone for something. So a negative thing happened, and we want to say it was this person's fault. This person is the reason this negative situation happened. So because of you. Some examples of this. I missed my flight because of you. I missed my flight. Here is my past tense verb phrase. I missed my flight. So this is the past tense of the verb miss. So my flight means like my airplane flight. I missed my airplane because of you. So something the listener did caused the speaker to miss his or her flight. The speaker is angry and says, I missed my flight because of you. So this shows the listener is to blame. It was the listener's fault in this case. Another example. I lost a customer because of you. I lost a customer because of you. So in this case, maybe the listener is at a restaurant or bar and is doing something bad, like they have bad behavior and the customer leaves. So the speaker might say, I lost a customer because of you. It's your fault that customer went away. Like, I'm so angry with you. So be careful. This because of you has a negative feel about it in most situations. Okay, let's go to the last expression then. I found out you, past tense verb phrase. I found out you, something, something, something. So again, past tense here, I found out. So to find out in present tense means to discover something. And when we use find out or found out in past tense, it's like we learned something that was a secret, like that someone wanted to hide, maybe because it was bad or maybe it was special and just like a nice secret. But to find something out means it's something that was supposed to be a secret. In this case, we'll use it to talk about a negative activity someone wanted to hide. Some examples of this. I found out you stole money from my bag. I found out you stole money from my bag. So in this case, the listener, you, the person who stole the money, wanted to keep it a secret, stealing the money. But the speaker discovered this. They say, I found out you stole money from my bag. Another example, I found out you lied to me last week. I found out you lied to me last week. So to lie means to say something that is not true. So both of these, lied and stole, these are past tense verb phrases. You lied to me last week. You stole money from my bag. So I discovered these things. I want to tell you I discovered these things. So after you've maybe shared the information here, or maybe you're hearing, maybe you're the listener in this case, perhaps, what are some responses to these? First of all, I'm sorry. So if you are the listener and you know you did something wrong, you forgot someone's birthday or you ate someone's lunch, of course you can just say, I'm sorry. In many cases, that's probably the best response to choose. I'm sorry. You could say, I forgot. I forgot. This is a good answer for something like this. Like, why didn't you call me? I forgot. Or, why didn't you finish that report? Sorry, I forgot. You could also use this one, I was busy, but please be careful. Sometimes if people use I'm busy too much, it's like we don't believe them anymore. We just don't believe that they're always so busy. So I would recommend using busy only a couple times. And also when you say I was busy, many times the listener hears this phrase and thinks, oh, so I'm not important to you. That's kind of the feel here. I was busy. So why didn't you call me? Sorry, I was busy. So maybe on a busy day at work, we can understand sometimes. But if you always use this, it's not so good. Okay, another one is I won't do it again. I won't do it again. So remember, won't is will not. And this means I will not do that thing one more time. So for example, I found out you stole money from my bag. I'm sorry. I won't do it again. I'm sorry, I won't do it again. Finally then, if you do not want to apologize and you don't want to give an excuse and you want to continue the argument, these are some expressions you can use. First is no, I didn't. No, I didn't. So for example, I found out you lied to me last week. No, I didn't. No, I didn't. So you reject it. You're saying, I didn't lie to you. This I didn't connects to the thing in the previous sentence. So I found out you lied to me last week. No, I didn't means no, I didn't lie to you. So this will kind of continue the discussion and maybe you need to find the truth in the story there together. Another thing, if you really want to level up the fight, is to return the statement from the first person with another problem. For example, well, you past tense verb phrase. You will hear this in fights that are escalating. So people just share problems back and forth, things they're angry about, and they might use an expression like this. Like, I can't believe you forgot my birthday. It's like, well, you didn't pick me up at the airport. So people will kind of trade arguments in this way, and they'll use you to talk about that. Like they'll use you like in an emphasized way to show that the other person is not perfect either. So use this expression if you want to keep the fight going, if you want to continue the fight for some reason. So these are some expressions that you can use in arguments, hopefully to end the argument quickly. But if you need to know some other expressions to kind of argue back, these are a few things that you can use. So I hope that this lesson is helpful for you. Of course, if you have any questions or comments, or if you want to practice using any of these, please feel free to do so in the comment section of this video. Of course, if you like this lesson, please don't forget to give it a thumbs up, subscribe to our channel if you haven't already, and check us out at EnglishClass101.com for some other things that can help you with your English studies. Thanks very much for watching this lesson, and I will see you again soon. Bye-bye. Hi everybody, my name is Alicia. In this lesson, I'm going to talk about expressions you can use after an argument. By argument, I mean a fight. So a fight means a heated discussion that you have with someone else, an argument. Let's get started. Okay, the first expression you can use after an argument is very simple, of course. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. So if you made a mistake, or if you think the argument was really strong, really intense, and you feel bad, you can say, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. To be more specific, like I'm sorry is quite general, just your general feeling, I am sorry. If you want to be more specific, like why are you sorry? Like what's the reason you are sorry? You can use one of these expressions. First, I'm sorry about what I said. I'm sorry about what I said. So this what in this sentence is like saying the things which or the thing which I said. But we don't say the thing which I said or the things which I said. We instead use this what. I'm sorry about what I said. So maybe I said something yesterday, or I said something in the argument, and I feel bad about that. I'm sorry about what I said. So past tense here. I'm sorry about what I said. Also, I'm sorry I yelled, or I'm sorry I shouted at you, maybe. So if your voice became very loud and you feel bad about that, use this past tense yelled or shouted. I'm sorry I yelled at you. I'm sorry I shouted at you. I have at you in parentheses here because maybe you didn't shout directly at the person. Maybe you were shouting just in the room, you were upset, or maybe you had a loud voice in your discussion, but you weren't talking directly to someone. It was just like in general. You can remove that. I'm sorry I yelled. I'm sorry I shouted. That's okay too. If you're shouting at a person directly, you can use this at you. I'm sorry I yelled at you. I'm sorry I shouted at you. They mean the same thing. Some of you might ask, like, what about screamed? So scream is a bit different from yell and shout. We usually use scream to talk about like really high-pitched sounds, and you might hear this more in like horror movies, scary movies. When someone is really scared, they use this really high-pitched sound. That's more like a scream. We usually use that for scream. Of course, in some very intense arguments, people may scream too. So it's kind of up to the situation. I feel like in lots of cases, though, it's usually yelling or shouting. Okay, so let's move on to the next three here. The next three are excuses. So they're giving a reason for your past behavior. So please use these very carefully. If you give an excuse for something, it might not seem sincere all the time. So with that in mind, let's take a look. The first one, I've been under a lot of pressure lately. I've been under a lot of pressure lately. So this uses I have been, and you'll notice this in a couple of, or in the other examples for this section too. So I've been under a lot of pressure means in my life recently, lots of things have been causing me stress. So under a lot of pressure usually means like work or school related stress. So it doesn't mean like physical like pressure like in a room with like high pressure. It means like the stresses of life are really high right now, and we use under a lot of pressure. So you can imagine the stress in life is on top of us. We use I've been under a lot of pressure to say that. Lately means in these days, these recent days. So at native speed, this sounds like I've been under a lot of pressure lately. So I'm sorry, I've been under a lot of pressure lately. I'm sorry I shouted at you. So something like that might be a pretty reasonable and normal apology. Another excuse you could give is this one. I haven't been sleeping well lately. I haven't been sleeping well lately. So you'll notice this again uses this present perfect, and we're using the continuous form here. I haven't been sleeping well lately. So this means from some point in the past to the argument, or maybe to the conversation now, the speaker has not had the experience of good sleep. So this could affect the person's mood. This is the idea here. I haven't been sleeping well lately. I'm sorry I shouted. So this is a reason why someone's mood might be affected, and they might do things they don't usually do, perhaps. And the final one is, I've had a lot on my mind lately. I've had a lot on my mind lately. So again, I have had. We've seen this present perfect pattern for all of this to mean something has been happening recently. So I've had a lot on my mind lately. This means I have been thinking about many different things, usually serious things. So maybe I'm thinking about work lately, or I'm thinking about school, or my family, or my relationships, or money, or something. So a lot on my mind means I'm thinking seriously about many things lately. So this is slightly different from I've been under a lot of pressure. This expression is like maybe there's outside pressure, there's outside stress, like maybe my boss is telling me something, or someone in my family is telling me something. In this case, it's like the speaker is thinking about many different things. There could be some pressure too, but they're slightly different. So I've had a lot on my mind lately, I'm sorry. So these are a few excuses, some reasons you can give if you shouted or you did something you feel bad about. Okay, so let's go to this next expression. I didn't mean to take it out on you. I didn't mean to take it out on you. So this expression might come after an excuse. So like, I've been under a lot of pressure lately. I didn't mean to take it out on you. So what does this mean? I didn't mean to something, something, something means my plan was not to do this. So I didn't mean to something, something, something. So my plan was not to do this. I did not want to do that thing. So take it out on you. What does that mean? So take something out on someone. This expression means like to relieve some kind of pressure, or to relieve some kind of like unhappy feeling by using another person. So usually this at the end of this expression is a person, like take it out on him or take it out on her. So usually there's some kind of anger, or there's like a sadness or a depressed feeling that we have inside, and when we release it, we do it on someone, to someone, and we say, take it out on that person. So generally this is a bad thing. Like, we don't usually want to release our negative emotions on a person. So maybe we yell or we shout or we scream. And so when we do this, we might say something like, I didn't mean to take it out on you. So the it in this case, take it out on you, the it is this condition. So for example, I've been under a lot of pressure lately. I didn't mean to take it out on you. So it means like this condition where I'm under a lot of pressure. So I'm feeling really, really stressed out. I'm really sorry. I didn't mean to release all of my stressed feelings on you. So that's what this means. I didn't mean to take it out on you. I'm sorry. Another expression, Very helpful. I was wrong. I was wrong. For many people, this is very difficult to say, but I think it's a very useful phrase, and it's good to feel comfortable admitting this too. I was wrong. And in some cases, you were right. You were right. So maybe like someone spends too much money and the other person says like, I should be able to spend as much money as I want in the argument. And then after the argument, that person says, no, I was wrong. You were right. I should be more careful with my money. So I was wrong. I was wrong. This means in the argument, I made the wrong decision or I said the wrong thing. I was wrong. You were right. You were correct. So you had the best opinion, in other words. I was wrong. You were right. So this is a good one to know, a good one to practice that is sometimes difficult for people to admit, for sure. Okay, let's take a look at this expression. Let's agree to disagree. Let's agree to disagree. This might seem confusing, but it's fairly simple. So first, let's agree. Let's agree. So let's agree means let's have the same opinion, or let's come to the same conclusion. Let's agree. So let's agree to what? To disagree. So this means let's accept we have different opinions, and that's okay. So let's just let it go. It's not a problem. Let's just accept that we have like this different view about this situation. Let's agree to disagree. It's okay. Let's not fight anymore. So that's a useful one to use too. To express some regret, similar to this one I talked about, I'm sorry I yelled or I'm sorry I shouted at you, you can say, I shouldn't have said that. I shouldn't have said that. So this shouldn't is the reduced should not. Should not have said that. That means I said something in the argument and now I feel bad about it. I wish I had not said that thing. So I shouldn't have said that. So that is a bad thing in the past. So I shouldn't have said that. I'm sorry. Another one, I hope you can forgive me. I hope you can forgive me. So forgive, to forgive someone means like to accept their apology, to accept their apology. Some people use the expression like I can forgive, but I won't forget. Some people like to use that expression, or some people choose to use that expression sometimes, which means I will accept your apology now, but I won't forget our argument. Like this argument will be remembered. I'm going to remember this situation though. So yes, I accept your apology, but I'm going to remember this in our relationship going forward. So that's a very serious phrase. So I hope you can forgive me. I hope means like I want you to, like it would be good for me if you would forgive me. I hope you can forgive me. To kind of repair your relationship with the other person a little bit, you can use an expression like one of these. Can I make it up to you? To make it up to someone means to fix a past error. To fix a past error. And we say, make it up to you. To you. Can I make it up means can I fix this past error by doing something for you? So, more specifically, you can say something like, let me make it up to you. Let me fix this past situation, this past thing that I did to you. I'll, verb phrase. So I'll buy you lunch, or I'll throw you a belated birthday party. Belated means late. We use it for birthdays. So I'll throw you a belated birthday party, or I'll buy you lunch. So you're doing something to try to fix the past problem. Let me make it up to you. You might also hear, let me make it up to you by noun phrase, like let me make it up to you by buying you lunch, or by throwing you a belated birthday party. That is also okay. So make it up to someone. Let me make it up to you means let me fix the problem by doing some action. Okay. Finally, to confirm that your relationship is fixed, has been repaired, you can use, are we okay? Are we okay? So, are we okay doesn't mean physically, like your body, the health of your body. This means, is our relationship okay? Are we okay? Or are we cool? Are we cool? So this means, is our relationship okay? So cool is used with closer friends. Another thing you can do is just ask friends as a question. So you might have seen this in TV and movies a bit. Friends? So does that, this means, are we still friends? Are we still okay? Is our relationship still a friendly relationship? So friends. And you might offer your hand, to shake someone's hand in that case. It all kind of depends on how serious the argument was. So these are some expressions that you can use after an argument to apologize or to repair a relationship. So I hope that it was helpful for you. Of course, if you have any questions or comments, or if you want to practice making some sentences, please feel free to do so in the comment section of this video. Also, if you like this lesson, please don't forget to give it a thumbs up, subscribe to our channel if you haven't already, and check us out at EnglishClass101.com for some other things that can help you with your English studies. Thanks very much for watching this lesson, and I will see you again soon. Bye-bye. Hi everybody, my name is Alicia. In this lesson, I'm going to talk about expressions you can use with your coworkers. Your coworkers are the people you work with. Let's get started. First, I want to talk about some common greetings you can use with your coworkers. A very common way to greet your coworker when you arrive at the office is morning. Morning. So you can use good morning if you like, or just morning with that clear ing sound at the end, but it's also very common and very friendly to just say morning, morning in that quick, kind of upbeat way. To respond, you just say the same thing in response, morning or good morning, or some people draw out the sound and they say good morning, something like that. You might also hear people make this good sound very short, so it sounds like good morning, good morning. So there are a few different ways you can respond to this. Of course, if you meet your coworker in the afternoon, you can say good afternoon or afternoon as well. Okay, let's move on to a couple more greetings. How are you today? How are you today? So how are you today is asking this day specifically. So if you see this person every day of the week or every weekday, you want to know on this particular day, on this specific day, how are you? So to respond, you can say good, or great, or a little tired, or I'm all right. So however you're feeling, you can respond with good, great, whatever suits your situation. How are you today? Good. How are you today? I'm all right. So this is basically the same response as you would use with how are you, but just how are you today? Another very common one is this past tense question. This is a very common one on Mondays, so after the weekend. How was your weekend? How was your weekend? At native speed, it sounds like, how's your weekend? How's your weekend? So this was gets very short. It becomes was, how was your weekend? So I know it may sound a little like how is your weekend, but that doesn't make any sense. How is your weekend is a present tense question. Like how is your weekend now? But if it's Monday and the weekend has finished, we've just finished the weekend, this is definitely a past tense question. How was your weekend? So the weekend we just experienced. How was it? To answer, you can use some of these responses to how are you today? How was your weekend? Good. How was your weekend? Great. And usually you should follow up with something specific, like I went to a movie, or I went to a baseball game, or I saw my favorite TV show, or I ate a really good dish. So give some information in past tense. I went, I saw, I ate, I heard, whatever. You could say, fine, nothing special. It was fine. I didn't do anything big. So just to show that it was normal for you. You could also say it was relaxing. Or maybe if your weekend had lots of stuff, you could say it was busy. So whatever, just make a short expression for your response and give a little bit of detail. That's kind of natural to do. If you just say, good, you? It sounds like maybe you don't want to talk about it, or you're kind of hiding something. So it's generally good to share a little bit so that you can make relationships with people. Okay, This one, the next expression, how was your activity? How was your activity? So again, this is using past tense was here. And this is something that we use when we know our coworker has something planned. So for example, if you talk to your coworker on Tuesday afternoon and they say, I have a special dinner tonight. On Wednesday, you can say, how was your dinner? How was your dinner? So the dinner you told me about the day before. So that's why we use your here. How was your dinner? You can use other activities here, like how was your party last weekend? Or how was your conference? Or how was your trip? So depending on what kind of information your coworker shared, you can use a different noun phrase in this pattern to ask about that specific thing. How was your activity? So again, to respond to this, you can use the same kinds of answers as we've practiced here. It was good, it was great, it was relaxing, it was busy, or it was okay, it was not bad. So just giving a little bit of information just to share your experience or, make like those relationships, make having a chance to bond with your coworker a little bit. Okay, so these are kind of greetings and kind of everyday like chat topics. But now I want to move on to talking about some work-specific expressions that you can use. So these two have kind of similar grammar. They both use this have you past participle expression. Let's look at this first one. Have you talked to or with person? Have you talked to our boss? Have you talked with our boss? In this case, there's really not a difference. You can use talked to or talked with. For me, the difference here is just that with tends to sound a tiny bit more like there are two people talking. It's like a two-way conversation. Maybe sometimes using to sounds more like a one-way conversation, but this is not a rule by any means. You can use either here. So, have you talked to our manager or have you talked to our team member? This means because we have this present perfect pattern here, have you talked, it means since like you came to the office this morning until this conversation, did you have the experience of talking to this person? So maybe there's some important information you need to know. So you might ask your coworker, have you talked to this person? Or have you talked to our boss today? Have you talked to so-and-so? So this means like there's probably something you need to know. To answer this question, yes, yes. You could say, yes, I have. Or yes, you can use a simple past tense answer in your reply too. Like, yes, I spoke to her this morning. So I use spoke in my reply. That's fine. You can use spoke in your reply, even though talked was used here. Or you could say talked as well. They're both fine. Like, yes, I talked to her this morning. Yes, I spoke with her this morning. All great. So you can say, yes, I have as well. Either response is fine. For a no response, you can say, no, I haven't. No, I haven't spoken to her. No, I haven't talked with her. Or maybe if you expect to, like you have a meeting scheduled, you can say, no, not yet. No, not yet. But I'm going to talk to her this afternoon. So you can use a couple of these different patterns to share like when you spoke to someone, if it's complete, or when you're going to speak to someone, if it's not complete yet. So have you talked to that person? Yeah, I have. I spoke to her this morning. Or have you talked to her? No, not yet. I'm going to talk to her in this morning's meeting. So there are lots of different ways to answer this quick, short question. Similarly then, I mentioned that these have similar grammar structures. Have you heard about topic? Have you heard about topic? So again, we're using this present perfect, have you heard, past participle here, meaning from some point in the past, maybe this morning, until our conversation now, did you have the experience of hearing, did you get this new information about this topic? For example, have you heard about this afternoon's meeting? So maybe there's some kind of an update. Or have you heard about the schedule changes? So this coworker, the person asking the question, is using this pattern to like kind of ask their colleague, to ask their coworker, did you receive this information? Like, did you hear about this news? So I've just used the expression, did you hear about something? You may also hear that just as a simple past tense expression. You may also hear, have you heard about? Both are fine to use and they communicate the same idea here. So again, to answer this kind of question, we can use this pattern. Yes, I have, or no, not yet. Or if you want to use no in this case, like no, I haven't, what's up? Or no, I haven't, what's the information? So you might ask a question in response to this if you don't have the information about the topic. Okay, so with that, let's continue on to this part of the lesson. This is used, I made these three sections or these three examples to help you with request patterns. So when you need to ask your coworker for something, for help, you need them to send something, whatever, how do you do that in a polite way, but that's also kind of friendly because you're a bit close. So what I like to do, and what many people I have worked with like to do, is we begin our requests with something like this. Sorry to bother you, but. Sorry to bother you, but. Or you might see some people just say, sorry to bother you, and then they make their request. So sorry to bother you means like, I'm really sorry to interrupt your work. Or I know you're busy, and so I'm really sorry to contact you, but I need some help or I need something. So sorry to bother you, but could you please send me item? So this item could be anything, and this is usually used for email, like please send me something digitally, but of course we can use this for physical items as well, like to send something in the mail. Some examples here, could you please send me the report? Could you please send me our data? Could you please send me those files? Could you please send me any updates? So there are many different ways we can use this. We can use the indefinite article, the definite article, no article. It really depends on what you're asking for. So for example here, please send me those files. So those files, the speaker would use those files in this case if the listener, if the person reading or hearing this message already knows which files the speaker means. So for example, you're in a meeting and you're discussing some important files. The speaker might say, could you please send me those files, like in an email later. So could you please send me those files? Another request pattern you can use is, could you please help me task, or could you please help me with task? So I have with here because there are a couple of different ways that we can use this. Please help me verb as part of the task, but sometimes we don't have a specific verb. We just want help with a noun phrase. So let's look at some examples. Could you please help me prepare the meeting room? Prepare the meeting room. So here, prepare is my verb. I don't need to use with here because we use with before a noun phrase. Could you please help me prepare the meeting room? So this one is okay without with. This is my task here. My whole task is included in this expression. This one, however, uses with. Could you please help me with this month's data analysis? With this month's data analysis. So with before a noun phrase, in this case, this month's data analysis. So why would we use this pattern? In this case, perhaps the speaker or the person writing this email doesn't have a specific task that they want the listener or the reader to do. They just want to get some general support for something. Could you please help me with this task? So you don't have a specific direction, you don't have like a specific guide just yet, but you want to get someone's support. You can use this. Another example with a verb then, could you please help me review the contract? Review the contract. So you can see this example and this example, these are very specific things that we are requesting. If you just kind of want to make a more general request, you can use with plus a noun phrase. Okay, one more example pattern for asking for help is, could I ask for your advice about topic? Could I ask for your advice about topic? So this is used when you want to get someone's feedback about something, or you have a question about something, you're not sure how to do it or how to approach it, but you think your coworker does have some information or they have some knowledge, some special skills that can help you with something. So, for example, could I ask for your advice about this letter I'm writing? So you're writing a letter and maybe you need someone to check it for grammar, or you need someone to give you some feedback about the content of your letter. You could use this pattern. Could I ask for your advice about this letter I'm writing? Another example, could I ask for your advice about the design of this graphic? So maybe you don't have great design skills, but your coworker does. Like, could I ask for your help, or could I ask for your advice about the design of this graphic? So you can use a lot of different things here. And using this pattern sounds kind of like you really would appreciate their expertise, their specialization here. So we can connect all of these patterns to this one I talked about before. Sorry to bother you, but could you please send me that thing? Or sorry to bother you, but could you please help me with this task? Or sorry to bother you, but could I ask for your advice about this topic? And then I like to end my requests with this: whenever you have a moment. Whenever you have a moment. So this means at any time, at any point in which you have a free moment or a free minute, whenever you have a moment. So of course we have many moments, but this expression means whenever, at any time that you are free. It's kind of a soft way to say, like, I know you're busy, again, but if you have a moment, if you have just a minute, I would really appreciate your help. So can I ask for your advice about this topic whenever you have a moment? So that just sounds like it's no rush, like I just want to ask for your help if you have time. So this is how I like to use these expressions to make soft but kind of friendly requests. Okay, the last expression I want to talk about is one that you can use when you just want to share information. Let's look at the example. I just wanted to send along information. I just wanted to send along information. Here I'm using past tense wanted, wanted. You could use present tense, like I just want to send along some information, but we often use like past tense in these kinds of expressions to soften our statement. I just wanted to send along some information. So again, there's not a request here. You're just providing some information that you think would be useful for the other person, or maybe it's important for your work somehow. For example, I just wanted to send along some recent news related to our work. So some recent news related to our work. This could be an article you read, or some news about a competitor. Like a competitor means another company or another organization doing the same or similar work as your company. So this can be anything that's related to your job, to your company, whatever. So I wanted to send along some recent news related to our work. Another example, I just wanted to send along an update about our project's progress. So this is a very common one. You're providing an update. Maybe there's no need to share feedback, or there's no request, but you just want to share an update about your progress. You can use this pattern to do it. Finally, I just wanted to send along a few photos from the company trip. So maybe this is a situation you have in your company or your organization, just sharing some photos or sharing some kind of friendly social information from time to time too. So this is a great pattern to use if there's not a request, but you just want to provide some information. Okay, so these are some expressions that you can use with your coworkers. I hope that you found a few things that were useful for you. Of course, if you have any other expressions that you like to use with your coworkers, or if you have any questions or comments about expressions that you think you might want to use at work, please let us know in the comment section of this video. Of course, if you like this lesson, please don't forget to give it a thumbs up, subscribe to our channel if you haven't already, and check us out at EnglishClass101.com for some other things that can help you with your English studies. Thanks very much for watching this lesson, and I will see you again soon. Bye-bye. Hi everybody, my name is Alicia. In this lesson, I'm going to talk about used to versus would. We use both of these to talk about past actions, so we're going to talk about the differences between these two. Let's get started. Okay, I want to begin by talking about used to. So we use used to and would for actions you did in the past, but you do not do now. So these can be actions very far in the past, they can be actions from a few months ago, but this is a key. It's something that was true in the past that is not true today, not true at the current time. So you can use this to talk about lots of different things, including statuses and conditions. This is a key difference with would. So we're able to talk about activities, yes, the things that we did, like our actual physical actions, and we can talk about our conditions in the past that were true, but that are not true now. So this is not something we can do with would. Finally, when you use used to, you don't need to include a specific point in time. You can give that information in another sentence, or you can provide it in some other way, but you do not need to include the point in time in the past that you're talking about when you use used to. So let's look at some examples of this. First, I used to play soccer. I used to play soccer. So this is an example where I did not include a point in time. So the speaker just wants to talk about maybe a previous hobby, or they had some kind of life experience, and they want to communicate quickly. They did it in the past, but they don't do it now. So I used to play soccer. So if you want to, you can follow up with some more information. I played soccer when I was a kid, or I played soccer a few years ago. But this used to tells the listener this is not true for me now. Another example. We used to go on a family vacation every summer. We used to go on a family vacation every summer. So here we do have some information about the time period. Family vacation every summer. So this shows this was a repeating action every year. And the action family vacation, going on a family vacation. So this shows this is not true now. So maybe the speaker is an adult and this was something that happened in childhood. So you can follow up with some more specific information here. For example, we used to go on a family vacation every summer. We stopped doing it when I graduated from high school, something like that. So you can give some sort of time period if you like. So again, this shows this is not true now, and we do have a time period in this case. Okay, let's look at this one. This is a status or a condition, really. She used to be a teacher. She used to be a teacher. So her job, in other words, her job was teacher in the past. It is not teacher now. So this is like her condition, to be a teacher. So in the past, she was a teacher. She's not a teacher now. We can use used to in this way. This is her condition or her status, teacher. We cannot use would in this way. So you can use this to talk about jobs. So maybe like I used to be a retail worker, or I used to be a call center staff person. Whatever your previous job was, you can use used to talk about that. Finally then, he used to love eating bananas. He used to love eating bananas. So this is another situation where while we can use would to talk about this kind of the situation a little bit, we would need to change the grammar. We have to change the grammar in order to use would here. I'll show you an example later. So he used to love eating bananas means now he does not love eating bananas. So this is the thing right here. He used to love it, maybe now he hates it. So this shows it is no longer true. So again, in this sentence, I don't have a specific point in time. We don't need to use a specific point in time. It's very common to follow up with like a simple past tense expression that gives us more information. So let's compare used to, these uses of used to, with would. So here, this first point is the same as with used to. We use would to talk about actions you did in the past, but that you do not do now. So this is the same. However, we cannot use would for statuses and conditions. So when I talked about this one, like she used to be a teacher, we cannot use it to talk about that condition. We can't use it in that way. We use would with a point in time. So in like the same sentence, we've established when we're talking about. So it is actually common to use used to and would together. So let's take a look at some examples. First, when I was a kid, I would play soccer every week. When I was a kid, I would play soccer every week. So this is very similar to this one. I used to play soccer. So here we don't need to include a point in time. This sentence, however, we've included a point in time. When I was a kid. So this could be like a long period of time as well too. That's fine. When I was a kid, I would play soccer every week. I would play soccer every week. You'll notice too that with would, you often see some kind of like repeating action or like a regular activity that's involved there. So when I was a kid, I would play soccer every week. Some kind of thing that you did regularly. And we know when it was. This next one, I've actually made this as a continuation of this one to show how used to and would are used together. So this example sentence with used to was, we used to go on a family vacation every summer. We would often visit beaches and enjoy the sunshine. So here, we would often visit beaches. So this shows us this was our repeating action. This was something that we did regularly on these family vacations every summer. So why didn't I include a specific point in time here? It's because I've talked about a specific point in time or given some information about when in the previous sentence. So it doesn't have to be all in the same sentence, but you can connect your expression with would to the sentence before your would sentence. But typically you need to share the time period before you use would. You need to do that. So I'll show a couple of other examples too. Let's move on to the next one. Here, another time period at the beginning of the sentence. A few years ago, our neighbors would have huge parties almost every weekend. Our neighbors would have huge parties almost every weekend. So here, the regular action is the neighbors having huge parties. And we see here every weekend, so this is again a regular activity. When did it happen? A few years ago, a few years ago. So not now, but a few years ago, our neighbors regularly had really big parties. But we don't say regularly, we say would have huge parties every weekend. So again, this would often has that feeling of something repeating or something that happens on a schedule. Okay, one more example here. In this example, I have not included a time period before would, but you may hear situations or sentences like this one. He would eat bananas like crazy when he was little. He would eat bananas like crazy when he was little. This is something that you might hear if you're in a conversation where someone is talking about the way an adult or maybe a young person was when they were very small. So in the context of the conversation, you already know the time period. So you're talking about maybe one of your friends, you're talking with a parent about one of your friends, and the parent is giving some information about your friend in his elementary school days. And this comment comes out. He would eat bananas like crazy when he was little. So we already know from the context of the conversation, we're talking about this person, he, at a point in time when he was very small. So we might use this at the end of the sentence in situations like that to kind of reinforce or to show again that you're talking about this particular point in time here. So this, again, reinforces the repetition. He would eat bananas like crazy. So like crazy is an expression that means a lot, doing something to a crazy amount. So this shows this was a very common action for him when he was little. So this is a case where you might see the time period come at the end of the sentence when we already have the context from earlier in the conversation. So in sum, used to and would are both used to talk about past actions, but we cannot use would to talk about statuses and conditions. We can use used to talk about statuses and conditions. We don't need to include a point in time when we're talking about used to, though it is very natural to do that. And when we use would, we do use it with a point in time, and it can be in the same sentence or it can be from earlier in the conversation where we understand the context. One final point is up here. Quick note, if you're trying to decide, should I use would, should I use used to, should I use simple past tense? Did the action happen just one time? It's like just a one-time thing? If so, just use simple past tense to describe that. So we use these to talk about things that were regular in the past, things that were common. Would has more of a feel of like repetition sometimes. But if your action was just a one-time action, use simple past tense. Okay. So I hope that this helps you understand the differences between used to and would for talking about past actions. Of course, if you want to practice making some example sentences, or if you have any questions or comments, please feel free to do so or leave your questions or comments in the comment section of this video. Of course, if you like this lesson, please don't forget to give it a thumbs up, subscribe to our channel if you haven't already, and check us out at EnglishClass101.com for some other things that can help you with your English studies. Thanks very much for watching this lesson, and I will see you again soon. Bye-bye. Access your free language gifts right now before they expire. This month, you're getting 20 PDF ebooks and workbooks for language learning. There are ebooks on the most common adjectives, nouns, and verbs, slang words and phrases, plus workbooks teaching you greetings, how to talk about time, and much more. You'll see all of our 20 ebooks and workbooks on the inside. To get your gifts and language learning resources, click the link in the description below. Download them right now before they expire. Want to learn your target language in 10 minutes a day or less? Mastering a language does take some time, but you can learn in just 10 minutes a day if you have the right resources. 5 easy ways to learn in under 10 minutes a day. And in this guide, you'll discover 1. Why learning in small chunks of time is the best approach if you want to become fluent, and 2. The 5 resources you can use to learn the language fast. But first, if you don't yet have access to our language learning system, sign up for a free lifetime account right now. Just click the link in the description to get your free lifetime account. So, how can you learn a language in 10 minutes or less? Well, first you need resources that help you learn in small chunks of time. And once you can put in a few minutes a day, every day, then you'll have a strong learning routine. You'll finally be consistent, and this consistency will carry you to fluency in the long run. And if 10 minutes isn't enough, you can easily add more time once you have that learning routine. So if you're a beginner who dreams of becoming fluent, and if you don't yet have a learning routine going, then be sure to apply these tips. Now, what kind of resources help you learn in 10 minutes or less? Number 1, our free Word of the Day email lessons. Actually, this will only take you 1 or 2 minutes at most. Every day, you get a new word sent directly to your email. And all you have to do is check the meaning, hear the pronunciation, and review the example sentences. This is an effortless way to boost your vocabulary in no time at all. Number 2, our 3 to 15-minute language lessons. If you're learning with our system, you get audio and video lessons by real teachers that are just a few minutes long. And in those few minutes, you, 1, hear a practical conversation. 2, get every word and grammar rule explained. 3, have the conversation repeated several times just to help it stick. And 4, learn some cultural tips related to the lesson. So for those few minutes, you get the best possible return for your time. You learn vocabulary, grammar, conversation, culture, improve your listening, and you can practice speaking if you repeat along, and reading if you read along with the lesson notes. Number 3, drill words with our flashcards. If you want to boost your vocabulary and speak more, you can take those few minutes and drill vocabulary with our spaced repetition flashcards. A study session could be anywhere from 3 to 7 minutes long, depending on how many words you need to review. Just look for flashcards in the vocabulary drop-down menu on the site. Number 4. Learn with our PDF conversation cheat sheets. If you want to spend a few minutes mastering words and phrases around a specific topic, like weather or talking to family, then check out our PDF conversation cheat sheets. You can download these to your phone or print them and read through whenever you have a few spare minutes. Just look for our occasional cheat sheet emails when you join our learning system. And number 5, practice writing with our free writing worksheets. You can print these and spend 10 minutes writing words out. With these worksheets, you get words and phrases for common topics, like introducing yourself, must-know adjectives, and more. Again, to get these worksheets, you'll need to be on our email list. We email out these worksheets several times a month. So, if you want to get access to these resources and our learning system, sign up for a free lifetime account right now. Just click the link in the description to get your free lifetime account. Remember, here's what you can do to learn all of these words by heart. Drill these words with our spaced repetition flashcards, which will help cement these words into your long-term memory. Save them to the word bank, your personal vocabulary collection, where you can print out your own study sheets, or review the words with our looped vocabulary slideshow, and play it until you know all of the words. So click the link in the description right now and sign up for your free lifetime account to get these lessons and study tools. Great work! Here's a reward. Speed up your language learning with our PDF lessons. Get all of our best PDF cheat sheets and ebooks for free. Just click the link in the description.